Is this Clemson defense, and in particular, as we start with the defensive front, going to bring us more back to that 2018 version?
I expect to see something similar to that. I think they know they got whipped by Ohio State. I mean, there's just no way to sugarcoat that. They got pushed around. They got dominated up front. Clemson, they had a lot of injuries in that defensive front last year. I don't think Tyler Davis was ever fully healthy after getting injured in the season opener. They had to rely heavily on two true freshmen in Brian Bresee and Miles Murphy. And as talented as those guys are, they're still true freshmen, and we're still learning last year. I expect those guys to take big jumps in their development. Brian Bresee was a force to be reckoned with from listening to the coaches throughout the spring. Miles Murphy's elevated his game to a whole nother level if you listen to the coaches in the spring. Xavier Thomas is supposedly in some of the best shape, maybe the best shape of his playing career as we speak. I think he posted on Twitter yesterday, maybe he's down to 265 or 275. Maybe the lightest he's been since he's a freshman. Don't hold me to that. But I saw where he tweeted out his weight, and he's happy with where he's at from a weight and physical standpoint after being not healthy all last season. Let's just put it like that. But and I think they're going to have some depth too. KJ Henry is in a good place after having I don't know what he had. He had some kind of procedure after the season. He was playing banged up last year. I expect him to take a big jump this year. I think Justin Mascoll is going to take a big jump too. We've been waiting on it, and it hasn't happened yet, but I think it's going to come this year. And there's some young interior defensive linemen that I think is going to have an impact too. I think this is Ruka Rojo. We might see Trey Williams cracking it, too deep and getting on the field at times. But I think this is going to be a dominant defensive line. Clemson's had to rely a lot on blitz in the last 2 years to get to the quarterback, unlike what we saw in 2018 where they could get lots of pressure with just the front four, not having to rely on the blitz for that. And I think we're going to see them get back to that in 2021.
All right, we got Jason Priestner on the line breaking down the Clemson defense. Of course, it's got a stiff test in week number 1 against the Georgia Bulldogs, and that running game in particular, and what we saw out of JT Daniels the last 4 games of 2020.